Welcome back, dear students. In this video, let me explain you one more very important endocrine gland present in the human body, that is adrenal gland. Adrenal glands are otherwise called suprarenal glands, and if you ask me this question, why they are called suprarenal glands, it is purely because of their location in the human body. I have given diagrammatic representation, you can see here. As we all have pair of kidneys, above each kidney one adrenal gland is present. So as each adrenal gland is present above the kidney, they are called suprarenal glands. Renal is always associated with kidney. Supra means above. As adrenal glands are located above the kidneys, they are called suprarenal glands. And adrenal gland produces variety of hormones and they perform various functions, and based on the functions of adrenal hormones, adrenal gland is popularly known as 4S gland. And if you ask me the question, why adrenal gland is called 4S gland? So variety of hormones produced by adrenal gland regulate salt metabolism, sugar metabolism, stress conditions and sex. So this hormones of adrenal gland, as they regulate 4 S's in the human body. 4S represents what here? Salt metabolism, sugar metabolism, stress and sex. As it regulates 4 S's in the human body, based on the function it is popularly called 4S gland. And when we look into the internal structure of the adrenal gland, so when you take the section of adrenal gland like kidney, adrenal is also having outer cortex and inner medulla. So inner region of the adrenal gland, dark reddish brown in color, that is called medulla, and outer yellowish portion of the adrenal gland is called cortex. So with this it is very clear. So internal structure, or in the sectional view, adrenal shows two clear parts, that is outer yellowish cortex and inner reddish medulla. So here I have given you the sectional view of the adrenal gland. As I said, when we take the section, adrenal can be demarcated into outer cortex and inner medulla. And when we go into further details, cortex of the adrenal gland, based on shape and arrangement of the cells, it is divided into 3 different regions or 3 different zones, and the 3 zones present in adrenal cortex are zona glomerulosa, zona fasciculata and zona reticularis. The outermost layer of the adrenal cortex, made up of columnar cells, is called zona glomerulosa, below which a layer of cells made up of polyhedral cells is present, that is called zona fasciculata, and below this layer there is an intricate network of cells which is called zona reticularis. So based on shape and arrangement of the cells, adrenal cortex is demarcated into how many regions? 3 regions. Outer layer of columnar cells is called zona glomerulosa. Middle layer of polyhedral cells is called zona fasciculata. Innermost layer of intricate network of cells is called zona reticularis. And these 3 different regions produce different types of hormones. And hormones of zona glomerulosa are called mineralocorticoids. Why, I will explain you later. And hormones of zona fasciculata are called glucocorticoids. And finally, hormones produced by zona reticularis are called sex corticoids. So with this, I want students to remember, in the adrenal cortex, how many regions are present? Outer zona glomerulosa, middle zona fasciculata, inner zona reticularis. All the hormones produced from adrenal cortex are commonly called corticoids, Chemically, they are steroids. That's why they are called corticosteroids. So, first student should remember what are corticoids. Hormones produced from the adrenal cortex, together called corticoids. Chemically, they are steroids in their nature. That's why they are otherwise called corticosteroids. So, based on their function, we have divided them into what now? Mineralocorticoids, glucocorticoids and sex corticoids. Mineralocorticoids are the products of zona glomerulosa. Glucocorticoids are the products of zona fasciculata. Sex corticoids are the products of zona reticularis. So this is all about adrenal cortex. And I already told you, inner reddish brown portion of the adrenal is called medulla. And adrenal medulla is made up of special type of cells called chromaffin cells. This point is important. What are chromaffin cells? Cells of adrenal medulla are otherwise called chromaffin cells. Chromaffin cells of the adrenal medulla produce two important hormones, namely adrenaline and noradrenaline. So this adrenaline and noradrenaline together called stress hormones, otherwise called emergency hormones. So with this, it is very clear. Pair of adrenal glands are present above the kidneys. That's why they are called suprarenal glands. And in the inner structure, when we take the section of adrenal gland, adrenal is demarcated into what? Outer cortex and inner medulla. Hormones of the cortex together called corticoids, otherwise called corticosteroids. And hormones produced by adrenal medulla, they are adrenaline and noradrenaline. They are together called emergency hormones or stress hormones. And I want students to remember, special cells which form the adrenal medulla are called chromaffin cells. Now let us look into the details of hormones of adrenal cortex and problems associated with hypo and hyper secretions. I already told you, hormones of the adrenal cortex are commonly called corticoids and they are steroids in their chemical nature. That's why they are also called corticosteroids. And if you remember, I told you this also, adrenal cortex is further demarcated into zona glomerulosa, zona fasciculata and zona reticularis. Now, the hormones produced from zona glomerulosa are commonly called mineralocorticoids. With this it is very clear. The hormones produced from zona glomerulosa regulate the levels of three important minerals like sodium, chloride and potassium in the body. That's why they are called mineralocorticoids. So usually they promote the absorption of sodium and chloride and they promote the secretion of potassium at the time of urine formation. By promoting absorption of sodium and chloride and by secretion of potassium, they regulate mineral levels of our body fluids. That's why they are called mineralocorticoids. Mineralocorticoids are the group of hormones, but in this group, the most abundant and most important hormone is aldosterone. So that's why students should remember, aldosterone is the principal mineralocorticoid. And if you remember, aldosterone is essential for the absorption of sodium from the wall of DCT and also from wall of the collecting duct at the time of urine formation. So that's why aldosterone is considered to be the principal mineralocorticoid. So all the hormones of zona glomerulosa, which forms outermost layer of the adrenal cortex, together called mineralocorticoids. Why are they called mineralocorticoids? Because they regulate mineral metabolism of the body or mineral levels of the body. How can they do that? By promoting absorption of sodium and chloride and by promoting secretion of potassium at the time of urine formation. Next, zona fasciculata. So zona fasciculata forms second layer of the adrenal cortex and all the hormones produced from zona fasciculata together called glucocorticoids. Name itself indicates they are associated with carbohydrate metabolism of the body, and also they control the protein and fat metabolism, but their role is more associated with carbohydrate metabolism because they promote the process called gluconeogenesis. If students remember, the process of production of glucose from other than carbohydrate sources like proteins and lipids is called gluconeogenesis, and by helping in the process of gluconeogenesis, they help maintaining blood glucose levels. That's why they are popularly called glucocorticoids. Glucocorticoids also group of hormones, and in this group of hormones, two important names which students should remember, that is cortisol and corticosterone. And further, students should remember cortisol is the principal glucocorticoid, and one very important point students should remember, cortisol is the hormone with anti-inflammatory effect. So very important question, previously asked question in NEET exam. The hormone with anti-inflammatory effect or anti-allergic effect, answer should be cortisol, which is the principal glucocorticoid. So that's why all the hormones of zona fasciculata regulate glucose, that is carbohydrate metabolism importantly. That's why they are called glucocorticoids, and glucocorticoids are cortisol and corticosterone. In this, cortisol is abundant and it is the hormone with anti-inflammatory and anti-allergic effect. And finally, the innermost layer of the adrenal cortex is called zona reticularis, and cells of zona reticularis produce trace amounts of male sex hormones and female sex hormones. That's why I have written cells of zona reticularis produce very little amount of estrogen and testosterone. You know, estrogen is the most important female sex hormone, testosterone is the most important male sex hormone. That's why these hormones together called sex corticoids. And here importantly, students should remember, these sex corticoids role is not that much important, because we have gonads which can produce the sex hormones in large amounts. But here, as a rare problem, I have written here adrenal virilism. Adrenal virilism is the condition which is observed in some females. In some females, excess growth of body hair and formation of some strong and masculine body can be observed. This is purely because whenever the cells of zona reticularis produce more amount of male sex hormone in the female body, and that female develops some masculine characters having strong muscles, excessive hair on the body, this condition is called adrenal virilism. Okay, so next let us look into the problems associated with hyposecretion of corticoids and hypersecretion of corticoids. First tell me, what are corticoids? All the hormones of adrenal cortex together called corticoids, otherwise called corticosteroids. And here students should remember, hyposecretion of corticoids results in a condition called Addison's disease. Hyposecretion of corticoids results in a condition called Addison's disease. And in Addison's disease, what happens? Person suffers from excess loss of water and important minerals like sodium, chloride, etc. from the body. That's why person starts suffering from dehydration. Dehydration results in weakness, and ultimately person loses more water and minerals. Blood pressure decreases. That condition is called hypotension. So whenever there is hypo, that is low secretion of hormones of adrenal cortex, person is more likely to suffer from a condition called Addison's disease. Addison's disease is characterized by dehydration, weakness and hypotension. Next, let us know the problem with over secretion. Whenever there is more and more secretion of hormones of adrenal cortex, person suffers from a condition called Cushing's disease. So broadly students should remember, hyposecretion of corticoids results in Addison's disease, hypersecretion of corticoids results in Cushing's disease. In Cushing's disease what happens? Person suffers from hyperglycemia, that is blood glucose level increases abnormally, blood volume increases abnormally, that's why person develops hypertension, and due to excessive supply of blood to brain, patient suffers from final stage, that is brain hemorrhage, which may result in death also. So these are the problems associated with hyposecretion of corticoids and hypersecretion of corticoids. Students should remember what are corticoids. All the hormones produced from adrenal cortex together called corticoids. Being steroids in their chemical nature, they are also called corticosteroids. Hyposecretion of corticoids results in Addison's disease. Hypersecretion of corticoids results in Cushing's disease. Now let us look into the details of hormones of adrenal medulla. So if you remember, I already told you cells of adrenal medulla are called chromaffin cells, and cells of adrenal medulla produce different types of hormones, and all these hormones together called catecholamines. Very important question. What are catecholamines? Hormones of adrenal medulla are called catecholamines. Catecholamines are the products of special type of cells called chromaffin cells. And what are these catecholamines? Actually, cells of adrenal medulla produces two important hormones, namely adrenaline and noradrenaline. Adrenaline is also called epinephrine. Noradrenaline is also called norepinephrine. So functions of adrenaline and noradrenaline both are same. So when these two hormones comes into function, whenever a person or an animal comes into a stress or emergency situations. Usually adrenaline and noradrenaline are produced to cope up with stress or emergency conditions. That's why these two hormones together called stress hormones are otherwise called emergency hormones. What can be this emergency? Emergency can be fear, anger, injury, etc. So whenever an animal or a human comes under the situations like anxiety, fear, anger, injury, etc., the two hormones, that is adrenaline and noradrenaline levels increases in the blood. And what these hormones can do, and effects of these two hormones help cope up the person with stress and emergency situations. How a person can cope up with emergency situations? So adrenaline and noradrenaline always increases the blood pressure and increases the cardiac contraction. By increasing cardiac contraction, they increase the cardiac output. When cardiac output increases, whichever the tissue or part of the body is under stress, and that part receives more and more supply of blood. So it increases skeletal muscle contraction, visceral muscle contraction, also increases the cardiac muscle contraction, by which it increases the cardiac output as well as the blood pressure. By doing all these two hormones help that person cope up or come out of these emergency situations or stress situations, by doing which they save the life of a person. That's why these two hormones sometimes called life-saving hormones, as they are released especially in stress and emergency situations, they are called stress hormones or emergency hormones. And finally, students should remember, adrenaline and noradrenaline together called, or hormones of adrenal medulla are popularly called fight, flight and fright hormones. Very important name. At least you can remember these two. Which hormones are called fight and flight hormones? Directly your answer should be hormones of adrenal medulla are called fight and flight hormones. Which are the hormones of adrenal medulla? Adrenaline and noradrenaline. They are otherwise called epinephrine and norepinephrine. Based on their chemical nature, they are called catecholamines. So I repeat, what are catecholamines? Hormones of adrenal medulla are called catecholamines. Catecholamines are produced by which cells? Chromaffin cells of the adrenal medulla. Which two are the catecholamines? Adrenaline and noradrenaline. When are they released? Whenever a person enters stress and emergency situations. So this is all about the information related to hormones of adrenal medulla. So in this video, I have explained you all the details of a very important endocrine gland in the human body, that is adrenal gland. Based on the location, they are called suprarenal glands because adrenal glands are located above the kidneys. When we take the section of adrenal gland, it is demarcated into outer cortex and inner medulla. All the hormones produced by cortex are called corticoids, otherwise called corticosteroids, whereas hormones produced from adrenal medulla together called catecholamines. And also we have discussed what are the problems associated with hypo and hyper secretions of hormones of the adrenal gland. So hope you understand this topic, that is adrenal gland, which is very important for competitive exams like NEET and CET, etc. Thank you.